Hello, everybody. Excuse me. So I thought of this being right before Christmas and just a tongue-in-cheek to the weather that we are having here in Oklahoma. And I am sure that in other areas of the country you don't have this weather. So yeah, but we are supposed to have like 77 degrees on Christmas Day in Oklahoma City, which is, oh my God. That's some Christmas. I don't know. For me, Christmas means snow. That's even if I lived here for 26 years now, it's still. Hi, Elaine. So what I have here is a Skinner blend. As you can see, it's not perfectly perfect, and you don't need it to be perfectly perfect. But what I did first, I made a diluted. So I first made this part. Okay, it's a diluted Skinner blend that I made using cobalt blue, and as you can see, just a little bit of it because I didn't want to make it too strong. And then I added at the end some ultramarine, and this is, so the piece was about this wide and about this tall, and I added about a finger's length. So it all depends on how big you want your cane to be. But as you notice, I'm not using translucent. Hi, Sharon. Because I think that these would mostly look awesome in terms of small earrings and little snowflake beads. So I have this, and what I'm going to do now is first make sure that I get the proper blade, and I'm going to get it go through the pasta machine in length, and then create a as much as possible cubic plug, or also called square plug. I am glad that today I've been feeling better. I did start my new dosage on Tuesday, and that was, once I started getting used to it, that was good enough for me to feel good by Saturday, but apparently this one doesn't. And I don't dare, because of the high dose, I don't dare to get it more often. Hi, Crystal. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Now, the other thing is that considering the length of it, if I would go like this, it would make a very short blue thing here, and I don't want it to be that short. So I'm going to go with it on a thinner setting. And another thing, I don't know if you noticed, if the camera is showing it, I also added a little bit of glitter, just to make things more snowy-like. So I didn't go on the thinnest setting. I went with a 5 on a Makin's pasta machine. And I'm going to try and make this the same as the width. It's not exactly, it's a little bit thinner than the width, but we can always fix that when reducing. So yeah, I so hope that after the new year I'm all settled with the new dosage, and I can go back to normal. I've been pining for normal for like 2 years now, not more. And right now I'm having really big issues with Finnegan because he decided that, considering what has happened in the last months, I'm not allowed to stay awake more than 2 hours at a time. So if I am awake more than 2 hours at a time, he will come and start whining that I need to go to bed with him. So for him, going to bed means cuddles. So he wants cuddles. Okay, and as you can see, I also have some white separate from it. Now, talking about snowflake canes, whenever we are trying to do a snowflake cane, we are going to start with a triangle. And that triangle will be repeated. First, it will be repeated once to create one of the 6 spokes, and then it will be repeated twice more to create the full thing, or you can just elongate it enough that you can do 6 segments. Okay, now I'm going to do something a little bit more special with this, and that is because actually the triangle, let me try and bring this up to explain better. Right here. And let me open my GIMP. And you can create this with other types of snowflake things. If you just give me a minute so I can open it. Hold on, I forgot how I saved it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got it. There we go. And let me make it bigger so we can all... It's not a perfect quality one, but it will still... Oh. There we go. Okay, so the triangle, it doesn't really look like that, but the triangle, and we are not going to do this specific one, but the triangle actually that you're going to keep repeating is this. And the first time that we are going to do it, it's going to be, give me a second. Okay, hold on. Let me remove this. I didn't do a good thing by Why aren't you? Okay, you know what? I'm going to completely delete this. There we go. Much easier. Okay, let's do this again. I didn't like that. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is not actually this, because as you can see, this is not a triangle, this is a squelched diamond. What we are going to actually do is this is going to be the base triangle that we are going to keep repeating until we create the whole snowflake, right? Let's get back to our thing here. Yeah, I hope that you can do a good January class. So I'm going to need practically, you're going to laugh a little, but what I'm going to do here is one, two. Actually, there are two. See, I divided it in two. And then from one half, I am going to remove some of the blue, so it would be a little bit lighter. And from the other one, I'm going to remove some of the white. Okay. Next, so this one has more blue and this one has less blue. Next, it's going to be entirely the same. I hope that I'm not blundering anything, hopefully. Because in this case, in a normal section, you would just go with the same over and over, right? But in this one, we are going to have two separate basic triangles. Like half of the snowflake will be a little bit lighter than the other half. So, as you notice, one is a little bit thicker, the way that I cut it, and the one that is a little bit thicker, I don't want to mix them, I am going to actually reduce it. Until it is twice the length of this. And the same goes for the other one. Yeah, I'm going back and forth between my little, what I'm trying to do, and there's one thing I forgot to do. I forgot to put glitter in the filling white. Alrighty. So I'm going to make this thinner. Let me go with it through the pasta machine. And this is going to be one part. I want it to be this will be one of them, and the other one I am going to actually mix with some of the white. I don't need a lot. So this is the darker blue, the other one is the lighter blue. So obviously I need the darker blue for the darker blue and the lighter blue for the one with the lighter blue thing. But this is all going to give it an extra depth. Okay, I need it a little bit darker. I mean lighter, but not that light. Should be okay. All right, now this one I am going to actually deform a bit. Of course you can make separate skinner blends for all of these if it's easier for you. And I am going to make it into a triangle. Like so. And stretch it a little bit. And then double it. And make it into a diamond at the end. Let me remove the wastage. And then do the same thing with the other one. So first reduce it. And remember we had this talk, and one of the best artists to show you this, and I absolutely love her voice, is Teresa Salgado, Tiny Pandora. Is how you can change the shape. So when you have a rectangle, you move it into a triangle. When you have a triangle, you make it into a rectangle, or into a circle, and so on and so forth. So we do have, to start with, we do have a diamond, but we need the diamond to be much thinner. than it initially looks like. Again, cutting the wastage. Now we are going to slowly put it together. So I'm going to grab, this one is actually too thin, not wide enough. All right, so and then let me grab my white. I might have made actually a little bit too much, but that's okay, that's fine. Okay, so we start with this. Now, remember that this is going to be, actually needs to be even thinner than this. This is going to be a triangle, right? So this will be the side, and then we start a triangle like this. Now we need to place a little bit of white in here. And more white. I might have to get a little bit more white even. I'll definitely have to get more white. Okay, now for the next one, I'm going to have to put a triangle first of white. I'll just create a triangle. It's going to have to be like this with the big thing up. And this is a bit too long. And slightly deviate this just a little bit. Diagonalize it. And we are going to actually place it right here, with the triangle in between, and then you'll need another little triangle here. Actually, I can just put two of these. With one diagonal like this, and the other diagonal the same way. This one is bigger. And again, diagonalize this a little bit. going to place this here and this here, and then all comes to white. Yeah, you'd say, why don't you use the pasta machine? Because I just want to go like this, and then this will have to be filled with more white. And yes, I definitely need more white. Good thing is that with the white it's just so soft that I don't need to super condition it, because it's going to be too soft anyway. And so we go right here again, we create the triangle now. Let me take it up so you can see. So now I'm just doing the triangle. I'm going to need a little bit more here. Okay. Actually, no, it's going to go here. And I will definitely need more white still. So this is one of the triangles. Let me reduce it a little bit. And I'm going to actually change the angle so that this becomes the straight angle. I could do it with a straight angle here from the start, but I always found that it's easier to work on the spine of the spoke of the snowflake, and then creating with the angle directly, with the straight angle directly on the other side. So we want the straight angle to be on the white side, not on this side. wastage. And then cut in half. And we put these together. Make sure they are aligned on both ends. And now let me reduce it directly to be able to cut 3, so that when we make the other one and I cut it, it's going to go. This movement is special to not allow what's in the middle of the cane to stay inert, because you mostly work on the outside of the cane, so what's in the middle, as you can see, kind of has the tendency to stay behind. See how there is a little dip here? So doing this usually helps with keeping it moving. And also, whenever you do a triangle, you always press down. You don't press on the sides, because you're going to get curved sides of the triangle. So you press down. And this should be an equilateral triangle, the final one. So this should be good. Let me cut the wastage. There we go. Now let's make this other one. Let me cut a little bit more white here, just to be on the safe side. And of course, you can do this with translucent instead of white. It's entirely up to you. As I said, I wanted to have that cobalt porcelain feeling to it. So we are going to do the same thing as before. I'll first create the middle little double star. Do the diagonal cut. Extra diagonal cut. So this comes here, and then we have this, and another one, and two more. The higher we go, the shorter these diagonal cuts will be. So there we go. And we need some diagonal cut on top of it. Just a little bit. Actually, it should be longer. Just to cover this whole darker part. And then, as I showed before, we get two slices on the thickest setting, and then do a diagonal on each side. So that we have something like this, right? And then we grab one of the things and gently diagonalize it. And then create, I'm gonna create them to start with so I don't have to worry about it. And just go ahead and put them together in one fell swoop. And one more. But this is pretty much what we want, tilted rectangular thingy. Let's diagonalize this too, and I can pretty much directly these are a little bit too long, but that's fine. See how they come in a line? That's why I decided to do this a little separate. No. Yeah, it does. It's like this. Actually, I don't need this. It's going to go on the other end. And more of this. In between here. I mean, I put them together in two different ways, so it's entirely up to you how you decide to do this. Just filling. Remember, if you're anytime you're stumped, just make little strings and fill up with the little strings, and that will do just fine. You don't have to sweat over it. It's not that difficult of a cane, honestly. Don't say that it's not for you, but for us it is, because once you get the hang of the whole triangle thing, you can make any snowflake cane that you want, honestly. You can make all kinds of combinations. And for people who are newer to my channel, I recommend that you go and search on my channel, go on my channel's page and search for 101 geometric canes, because there's a lot of explanation about creating the base triangle for any cane, and how you actually, I need a little bit more here, and how the whole thing works and how many types of canes there are. This is actually what is called a simple 6 radial, which can be construed as a 12 radial, but not terribly so. Okay, lift it. And I need a little bit more here on the top here. And as you can see, I did again the straight angle here, but I'm going to switch it to it being here, because again, it's much easier to build when on the spoke of the snowflake. Alrighty, now we can start. Actually, this is a little bit too long. We can start reducing it. And again, press from above, not on the side so much. I do press a little bit on the side because I'm reshaping it, but otherwise you do not want to press on the sides. So as you can see, I'm pressing a little bit more here, but always, and pull a little bit on the edge, because the edge will have the tendency to stay behind. So again, switching it to the right angle being on the white side. Trying to remember if I have a ruler here. I think I might have taken it to do something with it. Okay, now we can get it in two. And now we go fully reducing until we get something that can be cut in 3 properly. And I will want it to be the same size as my light blue one. And you'll see why I insisted on 2 different intensities of blue. It will make it look like it is illuminated from one side. And once again, this triangle has to be pretty much equilateral as much as possible, but you can fix that once you put them together. Something that's on my on my table and I don't know what it is to make it stop. Oops. The only thing with this white is that it's so freaking soft. Okay, so this should be good enough. And it is fairly equilateral. Yeah, fairly equilateral. This needs to be a pinch longer. There we go. And now I'm going to put together the lighter blue first. And then the darker blue. And again, you can do this with other shapes of snowflakes if you want to have different shape of snowflakes on your beads or whatever you're making. And always press a little bit in the middle of each of the facets of the hexagon. And now we can start reducing. I'm going to reduce it not a lot because, as you know, and I've said it before, but your best bet when storing your canes is to not store them reduced, because whenever you're using them, they will need to be softened up, warmed up, and the only way of softening / warming up a cane is to actually reduce it. So if they are already reduced and small, that's not a good thing. So always keep them. If I would be honestly with this, the way that I would keep it with one dark triangle and one light triangle, so that way it would be nice and soft once I start using it. I mean, I would make as much as I need, but I'm going to still reduce it so it would be easier to cut a slice. And then I'll do something with it because I have to. I have to use it. And remember, when reducing a hexagon, your best bet is to do this. Of course, you can make it into a round by adding little tips of a circle on each side, but if you want to create something with a hexagon, your best bet is to keep it a hexagon, because it's going to be much easier to put together, to combine, because you know the hexagon is the best in the world and the bees know what they are doing, right? Okay. But I also want to reduce it a little because I want to show you how it looks when it's smaller, because it's a very pretty type cane. And whenever you place it on whatever piece you decide to make, it will give it, especially if you arrange all your little snowflakes to face with the light side in a certain direction, it will give it an extra 3D look. As you can see, I don't go with it as aggressively as I went with the triangle, because number one, this is a much bigger, thicker cane, and it's a more complicated pattern, and I don't want to distort the pattern. I'm still going to twist it to make sure I don't lose too much, but with the hexagon you have to be a little bit more. Of course, if you want to create no space between the snowflakes direct hexagon tile, then I would suggest you only use the little triangles, so you don't have to worry about it's completely distorting it. It's too soft, and trust me, my my blade is let me try and get the other one. It's sharp. It's just that the white is very soft, so don't try to cut it right after you reduced it, because it's going to be, let me actually put a little bit of Armor All, if I can find my Armor All. Yes. So that it would slide easier and it wouldn't drag. Because I would hate to have to keep you here just to watch me reduce. I'm going to try and reshape it. Anyway, this is how it looks like. You can pretty much see how it looks like. This one is less messed up, distorted by cutting. I'm going to have to let it be for a little bit and then try more cutting. But as you can see, it's a very ethereal type of snowflake. And once it is small, if you make the whole thing with a Skinner blend instead of plain lines, it gives this extra dimension. And also, if you do half of it a little bit lighter than the other half, it's going to give it again an extra dimension. So there it is. I don't know, I'll make some beads and post some photos on the comments, on the community, on the channel. But this is the idea. You get it. So I hope you enjoy making it, and you can apply this principle to other forms of snowflakes, other shapes of snowflakes. And actually, to show you what's the best thing whenever you want to make snowflakes, let me switch to the display. So do a Google search with snowflake and images, and you'll get stuff like this. See, and it's very easy to figure out the triangle. So it's going to be one of the sides is going to be the spoke, and the other side is going to be between the spokes. And that way you can create all these other styles of snowflakes. And there are many that are in this, like this one too. You can, this one is actually very simple. It's just with 3 spokes, but then when you put it together, it's going to form a little star in the middle. And this one, actually, I think I have a separate tutorial because it's very easy. You just do a round and then you cut 2. You cut it in 3 and then you switch and put a slice in the middle. But it's very, you can see this is another one. And here you can do, if you want to get this effect, your best bet is to use, my chopping method. You can use my chopping method to get stuff like this. So I hope you'll try any of these methods and that you will enjoy them. And I shall see you. I don't know if I'm gonna jump online on Christmas Day. Depends on how I feel. But I hope to see you next Sunday before the new year. Okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Christmas Day if I don't see you before that. Thank you. Bye.